welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first replay is from the user Bronx. That's Bronx, and he's driving the AMX Foch 155 on a standard battle on the Sand River. Foch 155 being the tier 10 tank destroyer for the French, the one with a very nice 3-shot auto-loader, and the shells do 293 penetration, 850 average damage. So this thing is a bit of a beast before the waffle tractor came and ruined its parade. But anyway, a quick announcement before we get too far into this replay. I am still a little bit behind on replays, which is why over this weekend you're probably going to get spammed by a couple every single day, just because, like I said in the last video, having 14 or 15 replays set aside that I definitely want to make videos of is kind of a week's worth of subscriber replays, so that doesn't allow me to even chip into the 70 odd new replays that I've got there. So like I said, this Saturday and this Sunday, expect a couple of subscriber replays every single day, just till we can clear the backlog, and then we should get back to normal. So anyway, on to this replay. Bronx just heading to the north, spots out a T-32. T-32 has his shot, but it just bounces on the armour of the Foch there. Just going to be careful with his shot here. He does have 3 of them, but he doesn't want to hit the gun mantlet of that T-32. It does take a very long time to reload this cannon, so as you can see, just waiting till he's got an advantageous shot, which is right there. Gets a good 900 points of damage onto that T-32, and still got 2 shots left in this clip. Going to try and set himself up to try and get somebody else as they are retreating. E100 takes out his friend there just on the left hand side. Tiger 2 pokes himself around the corner, very nice, gets a good bit of damage through and takes his track out. One more shot, and that is kill number 1. But now he's got that very long reload. Ooh, very lucky. Just as he was heading back down that hill, the angle of his front plate means that that E100 bounced on him there. Didn't get any damage whatsoever. He's just going to kind of hover around here, because if you back off too much, number 1, that's going to let the enemy know that you're definitely reloading. And number 2, most of his allies are on that right hand side, and it's just going to let these guys push straight through him. So just kind of posturing here, trying to make them think that you may have 1 shell left in the chamber, can be advantageous. But as you can see, the allied team pushing pretty heavily on that right-hand side there. Oh, nice shot from the artillery. Oh, and the E100 taking his shots and missed there. T-32 is left, but he's going to focus on the higher priority target of that E100. Gets a good shot through the flat front bit of his turret there. Got to be careful that he doesn't bounce his second shot, which he doesn't. Goes straight through there as well. E100 returns fire, but bounces on the Foch. Another shot takes him down to 125 hit points. And that's going to be all she wrote for that E100. He's going to get taken out any second now. Just having a quick look to see whereabouts those shots bounced on his front plate. That was Bronx, not me. But it looks like everybody's been hitting that gun mantlet there and the observation device, thinking that maybe that is a weak spot. But unfortunately, proving not to be that weak. As you can see, the shot's just bouncing there, and another one bounced on his gun mantlet. So that is the E100 dealt with, and the T-32 is making a run for it. There's a Jagdpanzer E100 left alive here, so we're going to have to be pretty careful with this guy as he's turning to face the Foch. Foch able to get alongside him there, not really wanting to hit him himself, but he's just wanting to jam him in place and not get shot so that his allies can take him out, and indeed they are able to manhandle that Jagdpanzer E100 enough till eventually the IS-7 can pick up the kill. He's reloaded now. T-32 is backing off, but he's not able to get away in time. And that is kill number 2 for Bronx. They're already doing a total of 5,500 points of damage. Only 2 kills, but 5,500 points of damage is pretty damn good in a tier 10 game. Not taking any damage in return either. Game's pretty one-sided so far. It's 7 kills to 4. But it looks like the enemy team's concentrating most of their forces in the south, while the allied team's concentrating most of their forces in the north. That Foch 155 doing some work there and taking out that allied IS-3. Bronx going to be heading up the road here. Gets spotted out by something. Probably spotted out by that enemy Foch 155 across the way there. Just having a a split-second change of heart there, deciding whether to go up the road. I think he was heading up here to try and find that Jagdtiger 88, who was up here somewhere, but yeah, as you can see, spotted now over near the base. So Bronx just heading down here. Looks like he's firing HE actually, as he does 95 damage to an IS-7. Just moving out the way there to let the IS-7 go past. Can find the Foch 155 here. Going to aim at the lower plate just underneath the gun mantlet and get a good high roll there with 1,000 points of damage. One more shot should be enough to take him out. There we go, just aiming just underneath the gun mantlet at the weak spot. Not quite. There we go. Able to put one straight through his front plate, and that is kill number 3 with his last 2 shells of that clip. Going to be hanging around here for a little bit just to see if he could... if he was going to get any damage on that Jagdtiger 88, but it looks like he is going to be pretty much dealt with that VK4502, although it looks like the enemy team's put up a pretty good defense here, as the guys who did come in from the north have been mopped up pretty well here, as the game is standing at 10 kills to 7. The IS-7 that came up the hill was taken out by a GW Panther. Was it a GW Panther? A GW Tiger. But it looks like the Allied artillery's done a nice bit of counter-artillery work there and taken him out. This Jagdtiger 88 just totally trolling that VK4502 and just working him down and taking him out. But he's going to stand no chance whatsoever against the Foch 155, and that is kill number 4 for Bronx. Now it's a case of heading down south and going to assist his allies there. IS-8 decided to abandon the idea of going for a base cap, just saw what happened to the rest of his allies, all getting taken out one by one. The game currently stands at 11 kills to 8, so the allied team still in a much better position. As you can see, they are just flanking around the enemy team there. Centurion 1 spotted out here. Bronx only has 1 shell in the chamber, and you saw with a mega high roll earlier, he got 1,008 damage, so probably not going to be able to take him out in one hit, which indeed he isn't, but he has got an IS-8 here. So just going to leave the IS-8 to deal with that Centurion 1, which any half-decent, competent IS-8 driver should be able to do, which it looks like, well, this guy isn't, but still, an IS-8 should easily be able to deal with a Centurion 1, although it looks like the artillery is really on the ball in this game and takes him out no problem whatsoever. He's about half done with his reload, but he spots out an M40-43 here. Doesn't have a shell in the chamber, but it looks like the M40 isn't paying attention. Oh, yes, he is. Aiming his shot, but it looks like he's not loaded either. So Bronx comes in for the ram there, picks up the kill. That's kill number 5 and 9,000 points of damage, and his gun is just about reloaded now when he's going to go on the hunt for the 121. Spots him around the corner here. Can he take out the kill and pick up a Top Gun medal? Gets a good bit of damage from the ram, bounces his shot there. Nope, can't quite find a weak spot of that 121 there. Gun's reloaded, but it looks like he actually may have bounced that one, and it looks like the T-28 picked up that kill, but still an absolutely awesome game there from Bronx in the Foch 155, picking up 5 kills, not quite getting Top Gun, but doing 9,500 points of damage, and really just kind of overpowering everything he came across on this flank. So, absolutely brilliant replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around because, as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Psycho Jerry. That's Psycho Jerry, and he's driving the ST-1 on a standard battle on Severogorsk. ST-1 being the tier 9 heavy tank for the Russians. It's the one that follows on from the KV-4 and leads to the IS-4. This thing can be just as troll as the KV-4, but then once you get to the IS-4, you realise that the Armor at tier 10 doesn't really make any difference whatsoever, so you don't really tend to bounce shots after that point. But until then, enjoy the armor of the ST1 because it's pretty damn formidable. You can reliably penetrate it with a tier 10 tank, obviously. Tier 9 tanks often bounce, and tier 8 tanks have pretty much just got no chance unless they use gold rounds. So just going to speed this one up until we get into some action because there are no announcements. Obviously, because this is the second replay, and this thing is not the quickest of cats at the best of times, so it's going to take them a while to actually get into the fight. As you can see, heading all the way over to the right-hand flank here, because that's what you should do in a heavy tank, is go all the way to the right-hand flank and fight for the hill. But as you can see, the enemy was here a hell of a lot faster. And got set up in position. You can see this IS-8 used his speed to get to that position pretty damn quickly. Not really sure why he did it though, because he's just about to get flanked and punished for doing that. Takes a big shot through the side of his turret, and if Psycho Jerry can fall back in time, the IS-8's not going to be able to get any damage back. And indeed, by the time, yep, there we go, Psycho Jerry reloads his cannon in time. But looks like the Rheinmetall just picks up that kill anyway. So I'm not really sure what the IS-8 was thinking he was going to achieve in that little spot there. I've never really seen anybody rush that position before, and for very good reason, because you'll just get killed to death. So it looks like that's all dealt with now. The people who pushed a little bit too quickly, the Tiger 2 and the IS-8, and the platoon mates in the E75 and the Lorraine 40-ton just going to come up and assist here as they all try and reach the top of the hill at the same time. Lorraine just taking cover behind the ST1 there as a little bit of armor for him. Looks like there's actually nobody up here. The enemy not really committing many people to the hill, which may prove to be a detriment to them, as it looks like they are concentrating their forces mainly straight up the center. As you can see, there's just a big block of them from the 3 to the 6 line. All of them just moving up there, and as you can see, all of them just taking huge chunks of damage. Does spot out an IS-6 here, going to try and get a good shot on him. Does indeed put some damage through his rear armor. IS-6 spins himself around, I think. Looks like he's aiming in this direction, but not really sure. Has a blind shot there. Looks like he did do some damage to him as well, as he's down to 246 hit points. IS-6 just bounces on the dirt. Looks like he's actually backing off to the riverbed now. Finds a IS hiding behind a building, thinking he was in cover, but not really realizing that Psycho Jerry could see him from this position, and that's kill number 1. Gets hit in the rear. Looks like it's a T69. T69 bounces the second. Does some damage on the third. Takes some damage in return. Bounces his fourth. Does he have one more shot? Looks like he may not. So it looks like it may be time just to bully this T69 down. And indeed, bully they did, as he was focused totally on the ST1 there and just got burned down by the clip of the Lorraine. So I'm not really sure why the T69 charged so far up the hill. He probably should have stayed on the left-hand side of the rock rather than coming all the way around the right-hand side and just tried to put some poke damage through the rear of the ST1 before falling back into cover. Gets a good hit on that T30 there. Got caught out in the open. As you can see, keeping your tanks all together can prove to be a pretty effective tactic. See, I'm in two minds here, because I would say that charging straight up the centre on this map is pretty much just suicide, but because they're all doing it in a massive gang, I don't know whether they communicated at the beginning or everyone just saw that everybody was charging as a big gang up the middle and thought, well, I'm going to have a piece of that action. Oh, can he get a shot? Not quite. IS-3's tracks just eating all of that damage. But so I don't know if everybody just decided all as one, just, yeah, let's charge up the middle. Everybody else was doing it, so it looks like the cool thing to do. Very nice return shot on that IS-3, just getting him before he managed to sneak behind the building and took out his tracks as well. And it looks like it's just the 3 of them left now. The enemy team winning quite significantly at 8 kills to 12. Although the tanks that are left is the E75, the ST1, and that artillery. So, pretty formidable tanks left to deal with from the enemy side. And most of their vehicles are tier 8 and tier 7, so this might not go well for them. even though they have done a great job of pushing straight up the middle, something which I would have said was suicide right from the start. Finds the Foch here, going to see if he can get some damage on him. Indeed he can, gets a one straight through his roof. E75 is going to have to be careful here because he's caught out in the open by the looks of it, and there's a few tanks aiming at him. Don't think Psycho Jerry's going to be able to get a hit on that Foch, as he's just a little bit too fast into cover there. IS-6 unfortunately got to waste a whole shell for 2 hit points, unless he can just let the artillery take that one out, as it looks like he's actually moved behind a rock. Still looking to see if he can get a shot. Not quite able to pick out that Foch just yet. Thinks the Foch is looking in this direction, so it's just rocking backwards and forwards. Lets his reticule close in, but still can't get a shot on that Foch. So he's obviously doing a good job of hiding. Finds the A44. And again gets a good hit on him. He's obviously been spotted out here as the artillery lands and does a good chunk of damage to this ST1. A44's left himself in the open, not really taking cover, even though he took quite a significant hit in the rear. And obviously just when it counts, the shot misses. So Psycho Jerry not wanting to stay up on the hill there as he's taking artillery fire, so decides to move down into the town. The artillery is able to take out that IS-6, but in return gets taken out by the A-44. Spots out. Who was that? It's a KV-3 up on the ridge, still with full hit points. But the two of them, this E-75, who looks like he's in a hold-down position, is going to hold the attention of the Foch, while Psycho Jerry tries to do a flanking maneuver. Not really sure if he's in vision here. Got to be careful because, like I said, the enemy still has that artillery piece in the area, and there is that KV-3 up on the ridge. Just going to head backwards a little bit to see if we can find that KV-3, not KV-4. Looks like he is either hidden or not on that ridge anymore, as neither of them spotted each other out. So again, we're just going to take a different position to try and come at this Foch. And there he is there. He's spotted out heading towards the base. Only got a shot on the very top of him, but that shot is true and lands. But unfortunately, the Foch is able to take out the E75. But it looks like he's only got enough hit points now to survive one. Well, he won't survive one more shot, so one more hit from Psycho Jerry will be enough to take him out. As you can see, just loading the premium rounds there, because let's face it, it's 3 tanks versus 1 now. The Foch, the KV-3 and that SU-14-1, so he's really got to just guarantee that this shot penetrates and picks up the kill, or else it's going to be a loss for his team. So this is really the situation where you want to load the premium rounds. Decides that he's got enough hit points just to take a hit from that Foch, and now he's just going to sit there and take it. The Foch does a little wiggle, but it's all in vain, and he gets taken out, and that is kill number 4. Artillery lands, but it's nowhere near, and now Psycho Jerry knows that he's got time just to maneuver himself around. Doesn't have to be wary of the artillery, as it's already had it shot. Wondering if that KV-3 is still going to be on the ridge, or whether he's going to be down in the town somewhere. Psycho Jerry just goes on the hunt. To be honest, the KV-3 is probably still up on the ridge somewhere, thinking he could snipe somebody out. So just going to go on the hunt for him. Going to speed this one up because this tank is notoriously slow and lumbers around the battlefield like a great giant. KV-3 not in this position, but the artillery is, and that is kill number 5. Managed to take that out. So now it's just a case of finding this KV-3. To be honest, the best idea now is probably just to go for the base capture, because that'll pull the KV-3 away, and at least you know where... Oh, there we go. So the KV-3 has started a base capture himself. Psycho Jerry just straight into the cap circle there, so at least the KV-3 knows that the ST1 of Psycho Jerry is far away. But at least Psycho Jerry knows exactly where that KV-3 is. He's in the cap circle, he knows how long he's got, and he's just going to make his way there. To be honest, with the armor of the ST1, he should just be able to bully out the KV-3, no problem whatsoever. As you can see, he's loaded a HE shell here, just to get some guaranteed damage and reset the cap. And there you go, gets a good hit on that KV-3. That's the situation where you want to load a HE shell as well, is just when the cap is getting... When the cap really... Because if he hadn't reset there, that would have been defeat. The KV-3 would have finished the cap, and the armor of the KV-3 can be pretty troll, even if you think you are aiming at a weak spot. So that's when you want to load a HE shell, just to guarantee some damage. And as it is, Psycho Jerry's able to pick up kill number 6, a Top Gun medal, 5,500 points of damage, and snatches victory out of the jaws of defeat. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. And don't forget, if you've got yourself a good replay, then please send that into replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. Leave me a like or favourite if you enjoyed this video. Put a comment in the comment section below letting me know exactly what you thought. And if you're not already, then please consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. I have been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.